Today's topic is, what is love? And to be honest with you, coming out of this lecture, you should not have a specific definition to what love is, but you should know how to apply love. Let's look at some of the definitions for love. In the Oxford Dictionary, to start off with, it says that love is a strong feeling of affection, similar to that of babies. Okay, babies, they fill their parents with intense feelings of love. The Oxford Dictionary also mentions that love is a great interest and pleasure in something. So to have a great interest in something. It also mentions that love is to feel deep affection for someone, or to like or enjoy very much. Now that's just the surface of love. The brothers are like, no, that's the actual definition for love. And the sisters are saying, he's not really touching love yet. Okay, the sisters know what love is. The brothers are usually like, love is a 4-letter word. It starts with L, it ends with E, and OV is in the middle, right? You know, when you go and you search this word love, any one of you can do it, not during my lecture. Put your phones away. But you can do this. You go onto the Merriam-Webster.com website. Okay, that's a very famous dictionary. And type in the word love. It actually falls amongst the most searched words in the entire dictionary. In fact, it is the 22nd most looked up word in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. The 22nd most looked up word. Now that just tells me something. If everyone is looking up the definition for love, that means nobody knows what love is. Is that right? If everyone wants to know what love really is, and they're going to a dictionary to find out what love is, that means nobody really knows what love is. Correct? It seems like all the ideas that are found in the dictionary, they revolve around what we could say, and for those of you that might not like this term, I'm going to use it anyways because it's a term. It seems as though all the ideas of love revolve around sexuality. Whenever someone hears the word love, they start to think something else. And there's different directions you can apply love. You can have love for a husband or a wife. You can have love for a mother and a father. You can have love for children. You can love many people. And other people will love different things. They will love cars. They will like houses. They will like materialistic things. And everyone has their own definition for love. And everyone is searching for another definition for love because nobody's ever happy with the love that they do feel happiness with. So for example, you buy a brand new BMW and you start driving that BMW. 2 years later, you're bored of that car, you want another one. Okay? And for example, someone who buys a house, they buy the house, they move into the house, they renovate the house and everything, and eventually they're like, it's not such a big deal anymore. But someone who comes to visit the house looks at it and says, mashallah, this is a beautiful house. You know, you must really enjoy living here. But for that person, the house just becomes something which is bland. So we don't want to focus too much on what love is not, okay? What love isn't. We want to focus on what love is. And we see in today's society that love has been hijacked by culture, okay? Love has been hijacked by culture. And I'll give you a very simple example. Jane Austen says, to love is to burn, to be on fire. To love is to burn, to be on fire. Now that's a Western perspective of love. And a lot of people will say that love is to burn, love is to be on fire, you know, I can't handle myself, I'm really in love with that person, I'm madly in love with it, you know, I can't wait for that day to come, I want to get married, for example, which could take place tomorrow, inshallah. And so a lot of people think that love is something that is like a burning desire, a burning desire. But in Islam, love is not as such. In Islam, we don't say that love is to burn. Because if love was to burn, then how would we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How would we love the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam if love was to burn? Okay, it just doesn't make sense. And in Islam, what we do is we think of Jahannam and Jannah. And we would rather be in Jannah than to burn in Jahannam. So we do not associate love with something which is negative, insha'Allah ta'ala. There are a number of different definitions that I've come up with when I was researching, trying to figure out an Islamic or an Arabic definition for love. and many of them have different angles that they come at. And that's why I'm not going to give you a specific definition today, but we're going to talk about principles, things that will deal with love. How can we apply love to our lives? This love that we feel, that's an emotion, a feeling that we can't see, we can't buy. No matter where you go, you can ask someone, are you in love? They'll probably say yes. They might be in love with their cat, they might be in love with a person, they might be in love with their car, but they're in love with something in some way, shape, or form. And this is what we're going to talk about today, inshaAllah ta'ala. A few principles so that we will better understand love in Islam, inshaAllah ta'ala. So from among the signs of love, we see that it is easy to serve the one that you love. Now I want you to remember, think back for those of you that are a little bit elderly, and for those that are going through university right now, I want you to think of how easy it is to serve the one that you love. Think back to the time when you were in university and you fell in love with someone, or you're in high school, or sometimes it's actually in elementary school when kids are young, and they fall in love with somebody. Don't you feel that in that point in time, when you find that person that you love, that it's easy to serve them? It's easy to do things with them? And another example for that is a parent who has children, and your child is sick, and in the middle of the night, it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and your son or your daughter is extremely sick. You get up out of bed, you put on your clothes, you get ready, you pick them up, you put them in the car, you drive off to the hospital. That's showing your love, showing affection, showing that you care for that person, for that child of yours. And it is easy for you to do that even though it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's very easy for you to do that. You don't even feel tired. In fact, you go to the hospital, you get the treatment that the child needs, you come home, you give them the medicine, and a couple hours later you go off to work, and you don't even feel the fact that you're extremely exhausted and tired, because your mind and your heart is connected with making sure that your child, the one that you love, is okay. So that's an example of how love can make things easy, or it is easy to do things. So there, brothers and sisters, we need to be able to understand where we're placing our love. What is it that we love, and how do we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How we can gain this love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How we can recognize the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala everywhere that we go in order to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more and more.